Good afternoon, teacher. We are group number 4, and we are going to talk about English as a global language. In our group are Catagua Michelle, Flores Andrea, Tapia Gabriela, Trujillo Sofia, and Baca Erika. Well, English serves as a lingua franca in various contexts around the world. In a lingua franca scenario, English is used as a common language of communication between speakers of different native languages. I have an example, and it's about the tourists. English is commonly used in the tourist industry as a means of communication between tourists and service providers such as hotel staff, tour guides, and transportation services.
Yes, yes, Minshu. When I am tour guide, usually there are people that their mother tongue is German or another language, but it's, for example, to communicate with them, it is too important to know English, for example, to do a check-in in a hotel. So usually we don't know how to express in their mother tongue. So English is very useful to communicate with them, to do the paperwork, like we say the check-in, or we ask where are they from. So it's very important to do this kind of, we do that in English. And I don't know if you want another example.
Yes. For example, today English is a with the spirit, and also in fact it is used for entertainment, for example, in films and music. Hollywood, for example, Hollywood global spirit has a contributed strongly to the international properly in English. And also, teenagers prefer to listen and watch movies in English in order to enjoy the music, letters, and also it helps to learn English language.
Okay, I am agree with your comment, Erika, because as we know, language have a great impact in the world, and various types of the subjects, like as you mentioned, it is important to recognize in films and music, because nowadays we can see that the language is mixed, not only English, but we have also the Spanish and other languages around the world. So that is a good point and example.
Okay, another important example in this discussion is about technology. I think technology plays an important role in the global language because the technology was becoming the world's business and power. The internet was also invented in USA. This creation an entire lexicon for computers and technology that was invented in English. So for that reason, it's important to keep in mind that technology is important in the globalization in language.
Yes, Gabi, as you say, technology is, for example, of the article that we were reading, they say that all the literature, most of the literature is written in English. So there is a lot of also fields that, for example, a doctor is going to require some of basic grammar in English. So to refer and to go into those tools, it is important to have a minimum of knowledge of the language. So it will help them also to acquire new knowledge, because most of the literature is in English, and we say, as you say, most of them were written and published in the United States.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Sophie. Most of the products of technological products was made in United States. For that reason, technology is important in the global language.
What will you give you as a conclusion? What do you think about of this article?
In the conclusion, English is a global language because it is the window to the world. It is used in different fields such as education, business, and technology, and it allows us to communicate around the world and get new knowledge.
Yes, I agree with you. It's to know a language and English, to know English give us a window to the world. I don't know if someone wants to add something.
Yes, I also want to mention one important example that we found in the article that we wrote. So it's that we have a large portion of academic journals and conferences are conducted primarily in English to disseminate information around the world. Also, this allows research for different countries and cultural backgrounds to exchange ideas and finding more easily. For example, we have scientists from China, Brazil, Germany, and other non-English speaking nations will often publish their work in English. As we know, nowadays we find all the works, research works using the abstract in English, and that is very important to mention.
We also need to take into account the advantages and disadvantages of English as a lingua franca. We discussed in class today that an advantage is that we can communicate without problems, but the disadvantage is that we can lose our culture. So that we need to take into account when we talk about a lingua franca.
Okay, so it was nice talking, and everything has a disadvantage. Like we say, our classmate mentioned that there are a lot of varieties that if they are with a few speakers, native speakers, when they don't speak, start to sometimes be dying that. But it's also a good benefits of having a lingua franca. So yeah, it was our discussion today, and thank you very much, all of you, to be in this room. Thank you, teacher.